Meanwhile, the soldiers and sailors on Oahu are beginning to rise, taking their first sip of coffee. Some eating breakfast, some getting ready for church, all unaware of what is to come. As the airplanes approach, operators at Apona radar station spot the strike force and report to their superiors. The officer in charge mistakes the strike force for a force of B-17s and does not report the incidents. Now, look to your left. Imagine yourself on a ship in Pearl Harbor, shading your eyes to peer the dawn and seeing the first wave of attackers. And imagine it's December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, and you are there! Imagine your confusion as the first bombs explode, the first sirens and alarms sound. Right now, right here, listen to the sounds of battle. Hear the sirens just as they did. Feel the explosions hammer your chest just as they did. Smell the smoke as it burns your nostrils just as they did that fateful Sunday morning. Look, listen, and remember, for we must never forget. Japanese planes attack relentlessly. Many servicemen believe the attack is some kind of crazy air raid drill. They think the airplanes are American. In fact, one soldier remarks, "This is the best damn drill the Air Force has ever put on." But when the rising sun becomes visible on the wings of the airplanes, everyone knows this is no drill. General Short, the commander of Army forces, has notified the attack while playing golf. His response? That is ridiculous. General Short will never have been more wrong. An extended attack goes off like clockwork at 07:55. Bombers attack Wheeler and Hickam Air Force Base. 2 minutes later, torpedo planes, just like the ones you are seeing in front of you now, begin their attack on Battleship Row. Sleepy-eyed soldiers stumble outside to see Japanese airplanes everywhere, circling the skies. Ships lined up side by side like sitting ducks along Battleship Row. In the middle of Pearl Harbor, they make great targets. In fact, the Japanese have designed new torpedoes capable of striking the ships in the shallow harbor. A technological advancement the Americans are sadly unaware of. The practice ship Utah was the first to be hit. It lifts and sinks. The light cruiser Raleigh takes 2 torpedoes. The battleship Oklahoma and West Virginia are next. The Oklahoma lifts and capsizes, rolling on the battleship USS Maryland. When the Oklahoma sinks, her belly thrusting out of the burning waters of Pearl Harbor, hundreds of men are trapped. Only 32 of these men would be rescued, and not until a full 40 hours after the attack. The battleship California takes 2 torpedoes and sinks. By this time, the flames on the West Virginia reach over 400 feet. At this same time, the USS Arizona, which has already taken a torpedo, has a bomb strike next to its number 2 turret. The 1,700-pound projectile penetrates deep into the belly of the ship, first through 1 deck, then through 2 decks. It lodges next to the number 2 magazine. And seconds later, the Arizona erupts like a volcano rising out of the harbor. Flames shooting over 500 feet in the air. Almost 1,200 men perish in that moment. Sent to a watery grave, those brave young men still rest in the hold of that great ship at the Arizona Memorial. A testament to their courage, their sacrifice, their honor. At 08:35, the first wave ends. The damage is horrendous. In Washington at 08:50 Hawaii time, early afternoon in the States, an hour after the attack began, Secretary of State Cordell Hull, well aware of what is transpiring in Hawaii, erupts when given a letter from the Japanese breaking off peace talks. I have never seen a document that was more crowded with infamous falsehoods and distortions on a scale so huge that I never imagined until today that any government on this planet was capable of uttering them. The second wave of the Japanese attack falls on Hawaii at 08:55. 132 additional aircraft spread out to hit ships, airfields, and barracks throughout Oahu. But for the second wave, the element of surprise is gone, and the Americans fight back, making the Japanese pay, inflicting some damage of their own. A bomb hits the destroyer down while she sits in dry dock. Another hits the commander of Naval Forces Admiral B. Husband Kimmel's flagship, the Battleship Pennsylvania, which is in dry dock, detonating guns and ammunition. Dive bombers attack the Raleigh, which has already been hit by torpedoes. One bomb misses the ship, tanked by mere feet. This day has numerous stories of heroism. The Nevada on the south end of Ford Island opens fire at 08:02, and although her captain and senior officers are not on board, Lieutenant Commander J.F. Thomas ignores his room and gets the ship underway, even with a huge hole in her port bow. He's able to beat the ship at Hospital Point and not block the harbor. Also on the Nevada, 21-year-old Joseph Cossack Jr., officer of the deck, stands an anti-aircraft battery and continues to direct fire at enemy aircraft even after a bullet passes his thigh. He refuses to leave his comrades. He refuses to leave the battle. As word of the extent of the devastation reaches Washington, the country is stunned. Later that day, President Franklin Roosevelt addresses a shocked nation.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date that will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. It will be recorded that the distance of Hawaii from Japan makes it obvious that the attack was deliberately planned many days or even weeks ago. The attack yesterday on the Hawaiian Islands has caused severe damage to American naval and military forces. No matter how long it may take us to overcome this premeditated invasion, the American people in their righteous might will win through to absolute victory. December 7th, 1941.
At 10 o'clock, the last of the strike force makes its way back to the waiting carriers. The Japanese ships begin the long journey back to Japan. The attack lasted only 120 minutes, but American bases lay in ruins. Smoke billowing up from the devastation. 8 battleships, 3 cruisers, 3 destroyers, and 4 auxiliary ships. 18 ships in all lay foundering in the oil-covered waters of Pearl Harbor. More than 350 aircraft stand broken or completely destroyed. In reality, America's Pacific fleet has simply ceased to exist. But most horrific, 3,500 Americans lay dead or wounded in what remains of Pearl Harbor and Hickam Air Force Base. The Japanese lost 29 planes and less than 200 men. The Army and Navy spend the rest of the day attending to the wounded and putting out fires. The Arizona alone burns for 3